Today's Tuesday, June 16th, and it's currently 7:05 p.m. These videos have been kind of getting a little bit harder to make. I know I kind of talked about it a few episodes ago where I was like, now it's all about the discipline and it's all about sticking to it in the long run, and that's kind of starting to appear more noticeable to me. That there really isn't like as much motivation as there was in the beginning to making these videos. That doesn't mean I'm going to give up, and that doesn't mean that these are going to stop, because again, the whole point of the channel is to reach 999 days, whether consecutive or not. We're going to get there. So today I want to talk about Obsession, both the movie that just came out and the concept of obsession itself. So I'm going to spoil the movie if you haven't watched it, but basically, I don't know, I just finished watching it earlier today, and I feel like a lot of people didn't really understand the whole point of the movie. Like a lot of people that come out of it saying, they would love to have a partner like Nikki or whatever. They didn't really understand the whole point of the movie. The whole point of the movie is to show you. Well, actually, I think there's a few things, but I'd say most importantly is that being obsessed with something or someone is not what we generally perceive it to be. It's not what we generally think it to be, and obviously it's very very clear from the entire plot of the movie itself. But there's also smaller details that really push that lesson a bit more. So for example, when when Nikki is the real Nikki is whispering in her sleep, she says kill me, whatever, and Bear is like, what would be so bad about being with me? You can kind of still see that it's almost like he was the one that was obsessed with her in the beginning, and no matter what, like, even through all the horrible stuff that's happened so far, and there's still even much more worse stuff that's going to happen, you can see that he just can't let go. And his obsession is his love, or if you can even call it love, leads him into such a dark, dark, dark hole, and it just gets worse and worse. And you really cannot help but feel like, you would never let yourself be in that situation. But the more I think about it, like, we glorify obsession in today's world. Maybe not necessarily in all aspects of life, but particularly when it comes to, I'd say, working or grinding, right? We severely glorify being obsessed with achieving your goal, or reaching the target that you set for yourself, or beating the odds and beating the competition. And sometimes you kind of have to step back and really think, is this even like, we know that obsession is not healthy, but is this actually the right thing to do anyways? Because sometimes, like, you ask people, like, if you go to like David Goggins, for example, he can't turn that off. It doesn't go away, right? It's like the fake Nikki in the movie. You can't get rid of that. And do you really want to live like that? Like, those people aren't necessarily happy with their obsession. They kind of just, that's just who they are, right? It's not like they kind of picked that, or they wanted to have that obsession. Maybe some people really wanted something to the point where they became obsessed with it. But overall, like, this is not something that people actively seek out, right? And I think it's so glorified and so so romanticized to be always grinding and being extremely obsessed, and to do no matter what it takes and all this stuff. And I don't know if that's really what life is about, right? Like, I'm not saying that you can't work hard, or you can't grind, or you can't, I don't know, you can't work towards a goal. But, and I'm not saying that life has to be balanced either. I'm not trying to like paint this, I don't know, middle ground cold take that's just like, oh yeah, don't be too extreme on either side, right? But I'm just trying to say that there's something here. Like, this is not as black and white as we're oftentimes told to be. And especially like being online a lot, or like, even if you're looking like manospheres and specific circles of the internet targeted more towards men and young men especially, people are always told to grind and to obsess over a goal, making money, getting girls, or it could be anything, right? Everyone has their addictions, their vices, whatever. But it's worth asking, is this really the right thing to do? Like, is this really what you want to spend the rest of your life doing? And I don't have the answer for that, right? But I don't know. I think it's good to kind of think about that in a way. Yeah. Thank you for listening. See you next time.